So the situation that came about was, unfortunately, she had a family member that was involved in an accident, and it was 4 altogether. So I know the question might come about because it's been happening recently, and especially with construction areas and stuff like that, weather. What kind of happens when you get yourself into a multi-vehicle accident?
Well, you've got to consider a couple of things. Time is of the essence on anything like this, because the fact of the matter is when there's more than one party, coverage is going to be limited. So it's going to depend if there was one person's fault, 2 drivers' faults, or 3, or whose fault it was. But in a typical scenario, I mean, we've had cases where we represent someone that has been at a stoplight, for example, and you have a car coming down the street, doesn't brake, hits 2 vehicles, and then, a 3rd vehicle. So you got 4 vehicles involved. That person seems to be the only responsible party at times, unless the other vehicles did something different, like maybe they were too close to the other car, that kind of thing. But for the most part, let's assume that it's only one person who's responsible. That person has coverage, or should have coverage under the law, minimum coverage, which they should start thinking about raising that coverage because it's too low, to 30/60, which means you can get per person per accident. It's a $30,000 maximum and $60,000 per case per accident. So that means, let's say one person from that accident was involved, in the accident, had medical expenses in the amount of, let's say, $50,000, right? So the most that person can get is $30,000 from that policy.
Okay.
But for all the other parties involved, the most they can give out is $60,000.